All right, guys, welcome back. The morning session's coming to a close, so I'm going to get out a video while the market's still open. I'm going to cover a couple ideas of what could happen today and what is actually happening as of right now. So we're going to get into these charts, technical analysis, try to anticipate where the market's heading, what stocks are moving, and where we can actually make money before everyone else jumps on the trade. All right, NASDAQ futures breaking out today. It's relatively impulsive. You can see we're just continuing to break out above the resistance line at 11.5. I got it 11.587, somewhere right around there, and we are breaking higher. It's a little suspect because we're breaking on a Friday, but it's in the morning. It's just breakouts on a Friday. It's hard to. I don't like taking breakouts on a Friday. I don't like taking breakouts typically late in the afternoon. I prefer breakouts that happen during the week. I want to see volume. I want to see confirmation. As of right now, it's a breakout, so you have to take it for what it is, but look for a potential failure into the close today. That's a possibility. Here's the triple Qs. If we go to the daily here, we'll see what kind of volume we're getting so far today. Yeah, pretty weak volume. This is why it's just not that believable of a breakout. So we gapped up today, and we're continuing to, they're continuing to build on the gains so far today. So as of right now, it's a breakout. Looks like a breakout. What I did is I covered this morning when I saw it gap up and then start to hold. I just covered my short, and I'm going to watch it. I'm going to wait and anticipate a potential breakdown into the close. But until I see it start to play out, I'm not going to, stay short when we have a breakout. However, volume is really light. We're getting a breakout on a Friday on pretty light volume. Let's see how the volume ends up today. Usually you'd see that volume come in this morning already if it was going to be a confirming breakout. And that's the point that I'm trying to make is it's not so much that we can move up on light volume. A lot of people say we've been moving up on light volume for 10 years. Yeah, I get that. That's not what I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is when you break out above resistance levels that we've been contending with, if you go to the hourly, we've been battling with this level for quite a while, going all the way back here to the beginning of September. Over a month, we've been battling with this level. When you start to break out above that, you shorts should be covering and longs should be piling in. You should see the volume there when people realize that it's a breakout. If it's a non-confirming breakout, then it's a potential just a trap, and you've got institutions bidding or you've got market makers bidding it up just to flush out shorts and then they dump it into the close. So that's a possibility. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it's definitely a possibility. I don't know what this trend line here is, where that one came from. So watching for that. SPY here, or here's the futures for the S&P 500. Well, looks like, as of right now, when I see this, looks like we're running up to do another back test of this big resistance line. Really the bull market trend line for the last decade. Here's 2009 all the way up, and we broke trend. We've done back test after back test, big back test, and it looks like it's starting to run up and do wants to run up and do a back test, but doesn't mean that's going to happen. It just how the direction it's pointed right now. SPY, let's see how this one looks. Yeah, so same thing, we're breaking above this resistance right here at 342.50. Really broke above it yesterday, and today we're breaking again, but look at how it's moving. It's gapping up and then pretty low, small candles, not a lot of buying throughout the day. Just gap up in the futures, and then it's just kind of holding, gap up, and it holds. Volume is extremely light. Doesn't look like a real breakout to me. A breakout, if you have a breakout where most of the action's happening in the futures, that's thinly traded. The overnight futures are thinly traded, so you don't have the market, the big money, the market participating. You've just got the futures traders doing that. But so that's what I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is, looks a little suspicious. It is a breakout, so we have to take it for what it is, and it is, it's holding. So so far today, it's a breakout, but looks kind of fadeable. Looks like they might fade this one. So I'm gonna watch. We'll see how the day closes. Look for some, look for continued momentum to the upside. Look for volume to come in. Those are things you want to see for confirming breakouts. The dollar is, we'll look at gold and the dollar. So gold had a pretty nice move overnight. Not really based on anything except for, speculation. But, anyways, moved right up to resistance. So we've got this downtrend line right here in gold. And it looks like gold popped right up to it and ran right into that resistance. So as of right now, bullish, it is bullish, but we're at resistance. So you'd want to see a break above that. So gold's not doing what I thought it would do in the short term. I was looking for a move down to 1790, which is a ways down there. I still think that's in play. We haven't broken anything technically. We're at this resistance, this downtrend line. I just didn't think we were going to get there. I thought we were going to head down right here. They made it look like it was going to sell off right here. And then they popped it up overnight. Dollar breaking down, kind of the inverse of gold basically. And dollar looked like it, sold off here and recovered the trend line. Looked like it was going to head up to do a back test of this, but now it's starting to roll over. So we might have, dollar might have another leg down before it wants to do that full back test. As of right now, it's pointed down. So, we have to take that for what it's worth. The trades that I had, so what I did when I saw the gold, the only gold trades that I really had was this silver miner, PAAS. I got short right here on the breakdown of this trend line. This is why keeping your positions near risk are very important. So I got short right up here. When they gapped it up, I was at break even. I just covered the trade, selling off a little bit since then, but for the most part, with what gold's doing, I need to take a step back and reevaluate. So I'll take a break-even trade any day and give me another opportunity to reevaluate or just move on. Okay, DraftKings. I put out a post notification, a community post that I was covering the short on this. It was a great trade, but time to cover. Basically, let me just kind of review the trade in general, why we took the trade and how it kind of worked out. So I started to look at this trade when I saw that we were putting in negative divergence. Right here, we put in negative divergence on the hourly. On this back test right here was a clean and crisp negative divergence. We briefly extended the divergence right here. So for anybody that's new, you can see here's the peak in momentum, the PPO, and the RSI right there. So we were looking for the trend line to break. The trend line broke here, and then it created negative divergence right here. So you made a lower high on the PPO and a lower high on the RSI, and price made it a slightly higher high right here. So that's a divergent price. It's the price is moving higher, the momentum is moving lower, telling you that a trend reversal is imminent. It then put in another divergent high right here. So right here you had a higher price with lower momentum, and that's all she wrote. Then she sold. Then it pretty much rolled over and sold off, right down to the first support level so far, which is in kind of this zone basically. But I have it at 49.43 down to about 47.670, kind of this zone. So that's a great area, I think, to take profit and cover that short trade. From the high to the low there, that was a drop of about 20, almost 25% in a matter of just a week or so. So pretty good move, and it's time to move on, I think, from this one. So taking profit, covering, moving on. Philip Morris continues to work to the upside. This trade, I started entering right down in here when we started to see that we were making positive divergence and price was making lower lows. Momentum was making higher highs, diverging from price. So then we looked for the break of support, break of resistance, and we started to buy it down here. And so far, that thing continues to move higher from the lows to the highs. It is up. Really, the highs we've been up about 8.5%. This continues to work. I'm looking for this thing ultimately to head up to, this one, we don't have a great positive divergence on the daily, so it's only on the hourly, which means this might only play out for, it might not play out for as large of a move as I'm expecting up to this 80, it's about $90. So I have to watch that. I'll continue to let it work while it's working higher, but I'm going to keep a sharp eye on it. The move that we've had, this 8.5%, might have been the move that this divergence was telling us was going to happen. So don't want to give up too much profit. All right, one of the better setups that I like right now, which it hasn't worked yet, but oftentimes, you have to wait for these things to work, is this PHM. Looks good to me. You look on the daily, it's a bigger pattern, so it takes a while, I think, to set up or to kind of play out, but you've got an uptrend line here in PHM right there. You can see we've had several reactions along that uptrend line. We broke right here, as I zoom in, we broke that support right there, and we've been back testing ever since. So back test right there, kind of a back test right there, another back test today. They've just done multiple back tests, but each back test has been a divergent high. So price has been moving slightly higher, just marginally higher. I mean, you can see today it's not even up, it's pretty much flat. So they gap it up, or they open it, run it right up to the resistance, and then it sells off. And so each time it does those runs right into resistance, I've been adding short exposure on this. So at this point, I have just about a full position on this, and now I'm ready for this thing to roll over. And you can see momentum has continued to move lower on each high, less and less momentum. So that tells me that this is going to break. What I'm looking for is some sort of impulsive breakdown candle that will wipe out probably a lot of these marginal candles right here. You'll get one big red candle and we'll wipe out a bunch of these gains. Target 39.55. This gap fill is really the target that I'm looking at. Zoom here continues to make lower momentum indication. You can see here we just momentum is fading in Zoom is what is happening. And it's obvious in the stock. When you start to see the momentum start to fade, it's a battleground zone right now between the bulls and the bears. You've got the late to the party bulls still buying, and you've got bears starting to fight back or profit taking. It's not a short yet. It's not a short opportunity because there's no break in price support. But I'm looking for it because the momentum is telling me that it's coming soon. So I'm looking for some sort of a breakdown candle, some sort of a break in price support, and that will set this thing up for for a good short. So we do have a gap right down here, and I think that's a pretty obvious target. If we get a breakdown, we probably will run down and fill that gap around 325, and then possibly a lot lower. This one, but that initial move down to fill the gap would be a 34% drop. So I see that in the near term future, but there's no trigger, there's no action. This thing can continue to go higher. We just don't have any sell signal yet, but I'm keeping an eye out for it. Carvana here continues to work. I would not be surprised to see, a back test, another back test move, kind of a shakeout move. It's been, drifting lower, but not impulsively selling lower. And usually when you get sell-offs, they're kind of impulsive. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it ramp up and do another back test around 255 or so. It doesn't have to happen. But again, we're below trend. So for me, I want to be short or neutral, I guess. I'm looking for a gap fill down at 174. I think that's where we're heading. Divergences tell me that as well. You can see here, these are all negative. I'm not sure where this one came from, but right there, negative divergence, clear negative divergence there on the hourly. And prices made slightly higher highs while momentum was fading. So these divergences tell me that we are going to gap fill. All right, and I'm going to wrap up with ExxonMobil. A couple things that I like about it, at least up to this 36.34, possibly higher. And I think it's probably good. What I'm targeting is 41. I think it's heading up to 41. First resistance level there at 36.40, or sorry, 36. Get my line on it. Yeah, 36.35, 36.34, something like that. So we had a positive divergence right here. You can see that we had the positive divergence it really started to play out right about here. And so you can see when we made a lower or a higher low in the RSI, we were making a lower price right here. So that was your divergence. And then we had the breakout above resistance right here. So a breakout of this downward channel. Here's your downward channel. We had the breakout. So that is usually good for, for a move up. And so what I think is going to play out is a move up to 41 is where I'm targeting. And I still like it. It's still working. We had a little pullback this morning, and then the buyers are stepping in. So that's kind of how it works. You move up. You get a pullback, the buyers step in, you move higher. So we're going to continue to watch this one. That's all I got, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate it. Catch you guys on the next one.